Angie,
Well, Pats.
welcome back after the elongated hiatus.
The hiatus!
Can I just say, looking after a grown-sized male patient is the fucking pits. And this is the space that I'm going to rant about it.
Wow. I mean,
Oh my God.
poor Martz.
Yeah, he's done his cruciate ligament. Poor Martz. He was in agony. It's really sad. But this time, 4 fucking years ago, this exact same time, on the 14th of August, he was put in a cast because he broke his foot.
I think what we need to do for the month of August, from 2024 onwards, is Marty needs to be sort of cocooned in some sort of duvet blanket-esque type thing.
Yeah.
We need to shut him away in a dark room.
Yeah.
He needs to stay there for the whole of August, and then he can be released back out into the wild.
I mean, I had flashbacks today because we're going to the cricket on Saturday, so we're trying to arrange like how we can. I've got to go and pick up a fucking wheelchair again from the British Red Cross. We had to do this 4 years ago because us lot were off to Swindon easier. So I'm like, great, got to go over to Milton Keynes Friday night after work, pick up a wheelchair so we can be pushed around. We've had to get parking sorted that's accessible. We've had to move our seats so that he can sit with us. I am like, oh my God.
But Pats, you've pretty much had a very jolly free weekend.
Oh, I've had a jolly free weekend after absolutely doing my full-time job and not having it's like, oh, can you just get me this? Oh, can you just get? Oh, can you just get? Oh, can you just? Oh,
can he not move at all? Can he not?
He can now, but today's the first day he's really been able. Like, to start off with, last week he couldn't really move his leg properly to get dressed.
Oh gosh.
So when we got up in the morning,
Marty likes sitting in his pants though, so that's all right. Marty could just sit in his pants.
He wanted to put shorts on, and also we're getting into very personal details now. Let's not. But so he wanted to put shorts on, so I had to help him get into. I mean, honestly, it's like last week getting him up to have a shower. Can you carry all this stuff up? Oh, I need a glass of water. Like, you know, it's been, but he's, you know, we're coming out the other side. He is a bit more mobile today.
The thing is, though, I mean, it's difficult on both fronts because it's difficult for you having to be the kind of looker after, doer, that sort of thing. But it must. I mean, if I was Marty, I'd be so frustrated.
Ange,
I'm not Marty.
Yeah. And so Mum came round to clean the house on Friday, and she came and she said, "How are you?" He said, "I'm fed up." I said, "Bollocks." And then he had this smirk on his face, like this grin that was like, yeah, actually. I said, "That is bollocks." I said, "You can sit on your backside and do F all for at least a week and a half." I said, "You're not fed up yet. You're loving it." And he had this grin on his face the whole time. And I was like, this is BS. You get fed up of sitting around doing nothing after 3 weeks, not after 3 days.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between choosing for that to be the case and having to be the case.
If you'd have seen the smile on his face on Friday, you'd have been like, yeah, you're not fed up at all. You're loving this.
Maybe what you should do, Pat, is once Marty's over this, you know, and he's fully back to strength and health and, you know, the knee is fully better.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just say, right, okay, now it's my turn. Like, you don't want any injury, but you're saying, right, for the next month, I am just going to not do anything.
Month? Are you joking? Month?
Well, you know, this
is a 3 to 6 month recovery time. He might have to have surgery. So it was about 6 weeks for his leg. I mean, it was actually 8 weeks in the end. So I said, I'm doing a month. I'm not getting up to get my charger. I'm not getting up to get a drink. I'm not even thinking about what we're going to have for dinner. You are on life. You are on life admin for me and you. So this time it will be about a month and a half.
I bet Marty's really pissed he's done this.
Marty's pissed. Fucking hell. No, to be fair to him, he did, when I was saying this and Miles was round, Mum did say, well, he said that you've looked after him really well. So, you know, he was bigging me up. So that's fine. I'll take that.
It don't bloody sound like it.
No, I've ranted here, but I know that I've looked after him well. And if you asked him, he'd say the same thing. Yeah. I definitely have. He can't help it.
Definitely have. No, exactly. And also, Pat, you know, to a certain extent, you kind of got to put it in a bit of perspective. You know, for
yeah.
some people,
Course.
this is life. You know, it's this constant, you know, having to look
I'm
after
only
people.
ranting here for it to be funny.
I know, Pets. I know, but you know, it does. It's like, I mean, I don't know if you remember when I broke my thumb, which is obviously not on the same scale as Marty's ligament damage.
No,
but I was so frustrated by the fact that, and it was my right hand, so it was my right thumb. I ended up having to do so much with my left hand. I got so annoyed with how much I couldn't do that actually really frustrated me a lot. So I think, as much as Marty does love, you know, the easy life and the lounging around, I imagine there is an element that's probably quite frustrating, especially when you know this is going to take a good chunk of time to recover from, isn't it? So,
I know that. I'm only winding him up. Can I ask you a question, Ange?
Oh, absolutely, Pats, always.
Does the man in your life have way too much beard on his face?
Probably yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want something a little bit, you know, more clean shaven, less rugged?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just want something a little bit more sort of tidier. Do you know
right?
what I mean?
Yes, more in check.
Yes, just something that's sort of really sort of looked after, like a lawn.
Like a lawn. Well,
yes.
Well, let me tell you that today the sponsors of our show is Manscaped, which we've had before, and we love them.
We love them.
And they have the perfect solution with their brand new Handyman electric face shaver.
Right. I have got to get all over this.
You've got to.
I've got to. Because to be honest with you, Pats, quite often he's quite dishevelled.
He is.
And I think the Handyman beard hedger is exactly what he's after.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's the kind of thing that is so handy because it's like a high-tech piece of art in a travel-sized package, which is perfect, isn't it? I mean, you know, you sort of think if you're going away on holiday and your beard sort of starts to get a bit, you know, scruffy, a bit overgrown, you just whack out your beard hedger, bang, trim yourself up, you're looking fresh.
Yeah. And nobody likes a weird beard, do they? Nobody likes a weird beard. When it's like, you know, half stubble, they've not quite got the right bits. Well, you know, the Handyman and beard hedger is the answer to all of those needs.
It absolutely is. So I think we've got to give people what they're after here, Pats.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
You know, if you want to get your man one of these beard hedgers, you just need to get yourself to manscaped.com. To get 20% off and free shipping, just use the code FINDING. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code FINDING. So it's time for him to hit the refresh button with Manscaped.
While we were off for the hiatus, I found something that I thought was quite funny. I thought I'd share it with the group.
Share.
So this is a teacher that's written, it says, I asked my year 1 class, what's the best thing that's ever happened to you? And here's what they said, okay?
Right, yeah.
So Alice said, bubblegum ice cream.
Okay.
The kids genuinely applauded this as if she was Nelson Mandela on the walk to freedom or discovered a cure for Alzheimer's. I can't understand why they're so gassed, but I suppose the fusing of 2 different sweets had just blown their tiny minds. Katie said, being born. Billions of years of evolution. Yeah. Billion years of evolution and ancestry are responsible for you being here in this moment, right now, giving you complex thoughts and feelings. So why would Katie say anything trivial like bloody ice cream? She's right. You're a miracle. Well done, Katie.
Oh my God.
This is Jax. So obviously what they said is, and then the teachers analysed it. Okay, so the bit I read second is the teacher's analysis.
Okay, yeah, fine. So
Jack said, bomb in a swimming pool, and I didn't get told off. Brilliant. So this is what the teachers put. Let's look at this from Jack's perspective. Imagine being 6 and being such a stealthy assassin that even with a bomb, the most explosive pool jump, the lifeguard has absolutely no idea. Jack's a mad lad. I wish I was Jack. So Toby said, when I had a McDonald's and got 2 toys but was only supposed to get 1, right? Listen to this. Some of my class actually gasped. Some cheered. I definitely heard some blasphemy. But overall, Toby knew this was his moment and grabbed it with both hands. What a day for this young man. Stuff of legends. Emma said, when I got to go and see my nana.
Oh.
Right, but listen, for context, Emma's nana lives in Australia and she's old and feeble.
Right.
Which, obviously, the pandemic has stopped families from really being together. So I'm happy for Emma. They met at the airport. They had a big hug. What a sweet moment. Okay. Rafi said, my baby sister, right? This is what the teacher said. Imagine having an older brother with the kindness and warmth of Ravi, guiding you through this tricky world with intellect and wisdom. He adores his sister and helps to brush her teeth and ride her bike. But my big brother once threw a Hoover at my head. I wish I'd have had Ravi. Listen to this one though. Rosie getting a cold. This is what the teacher said. The class laughed, but Rosie wasn't playing any games. She had the stoic face of a lioness. What she didn't explain was that she got a cold, then had a day off school because of it, which made more sense. She basically said she ate toast and watched Frozen.
Living her best life.
Living the best. Right, there's 2 more. So Wendy said swimming with sharks. This is what the teacher said. I had so many questions. Surely it's not wise to send a 6-year-old down in a cage to swim with sharks.
Yeah.
However, through further investigation, Wendy meant dolphins. It was on holiday, though she was absolutely convinced it was great white sharks. And then, this is the final one. Ben said Mr. Pontin's lessons. I think this is Mr. Pontin who's writing this.
Okay.
Mr. Pontin's lessons. Before we get ahead of ourselves, Ben got in trouble today, so I assume he's using this as a ploy to win me over. It's a pathetic, ridiculous attempt. Did it work? Yes, absolutely. Back in my good books he goes. What a cheeky little scamp.
That is so
Isn't
brilliant.
that just brilliant?
Oh my gosh.
I was wetting myself reading them, and I was like, I have got to share this on the pod.
I just think as well, though, I love the way children think. Yes. I wish
Me too.
as a grown adult, could just think about my best thing being bubblegum ice cream or getting 2 toys at McDonald's Happy
I
Meal.
love that one, and he's like, some of the class gasped. Others clapped. There was definitely some blasphemy.
Because they just... I love
know.
The innocence and the way they just look
know.
at it and go, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a cold, I've got a day off. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a little tale I've got to tell you from my my little week in the lakes.
Oh, in the lakes. Yes,
yeah.
I've got lakes.
So I've been holding on to this since, like, I don't know, the 8th of July or 15th of July or something like that. Yeah, this I've been holding on, and I was obviously, I was looking forward to releasing this last week, but then, Marty, dickhead.
Marty.
So, I've had to hold on for another week. So,
yeah.
But, okay, so I'm going to tell you this story about what happened.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that this has also happened to other people.
Right. It's one of those.
I think it has. I think it has. So anyway, we obviously went up to lakes for a week.
Yeah.
And we took Luna with us. Luna is our dog.
The family
for anybody
dog.
that's, new around these parts. And it's the first time we've sort of done a holiday with her. Weren't quite sure how it was going to go. Anyway, she was great, bloody marvelous. And this one particular morning, before we'd set off, because it was a bit of sometimes it'd be a good 40, 50 minutes to get to where we're going to. We obviously had to take her out before we left to make sure she did a poo and a wee. We don't want her pooing and weeing in the car. Mm-hmm. So this particular morning, I take her out just round sort of where we were staying, and she did her morning ablutions. Brilliant.
Ablutions, great use of the word. Ablutions.
So we're on making our way back to the house, right? And she's sort of sniffing around like they do, sniffing at everything. And anyway, she was over at this bit for a little while, and I was like, "Come on, Luna!" And I could tell she was like eating something, and I was like, "Right, come on, no." Really sort of gave her a big pull. Come on, Luna, we've got to go. Anyway, we go back to the house, and we're just in the kitchen getting stuff together.
Yeah.
And in fact, I don't know why all four of us were in the kitchen at this point, but we were. Anyway, all of a sudden, Luna looked like she was going to be sick, right? You know, like when animals do that, they do that sort of, shoulders go and Anyway, so we're all just stood there. Oh God, she's going to puke. Anyway, she pukes.
Yeah.
And this thing comes up with her puke, right?
Right.
And straight away, I said, "That's a poo."
What? Has she eaten her own poo?
Not her own poo. Some
Fox
other
poo.
fox dog poo. But it was a full-size, solid poo that came back up out of her mouth.
Was that it, or was there actual puke as well?
No, it was puke, and then bang, this turd on the floor.
A whole
turd, right? I reckon it was the size of, like, I don't know, maybe roughly about the size of your phone.
In length,
not in width.
Fucking hell! That poor animal that passed. God!
Not in width.
In length, though, that's still pretty big in length-wise.
I mean, I think she must have just inhaled it at the site. Like that, it was gone.
Right.
Then it's obviously lodged in her gullet. And she's got back to... literally, I went, that's a poo.
Then, oh my God.
We're all like, what the hell? She's eaten a shit, and now there's shit on this floor. And then it's like, oh, who's going to deal with that shit then?
You.
Yeah. Because they're all pricks and go, oh, we're picking that up. So there I am, clearing up vomit and someone else's dog turd / fox turd.
That is so funny.
Honestly, it was horrific. Oh. But then all day we were just like talking about how Luna had shat out her mouth, basically.
That is a poo.
That's what we keep saying. That is a poo.
That is definitely a poo.
And then I get grief. They're all going, Mum, you have got to make sure you watch. I'm like, I didn't know she was inhaling turd.
And also, it's the responsibility of all of us, I think.
Well, it's because I was out on the walk with her where she inhaled the poo.
Oh, fine, fair enough.
So they're all blaming me. But I'm like, sometimes she's sniffing away at stuff and then she's going to eat shit. But oh my gosh, I kept thinking, please, I really hope other dogs... I am sure I've heard of other dogs eating poo. But I don't know whether it's ever come back as like a whole solid turd, which is what this...
Well, talking about being sick, I'm not being sick, or like, but talking about animals retching, the other day, my cat Sherlock was wandering around the living room and there was a tiny little beetle on the floor.
Yeah.
And he went up to it and sniffed it and went, and just retched and walked away. Did one single retch in this beetle's face and walked off. It was so weird.
It must have had like a smell about it.
Yeah, because it was like when we smell something and we're like, it was honestly, he did a human and just walked off. And it was absolutely fine. Like, no sick, no nothing, just made the sound. It was so weird. Oh, very good.
There we go. So yeah, that's a poo. I think we should call this episode "That's a Poo."
That's a poo.
That's a poo.
That's a poo. Well, shall I tell you I've had this shitting tits since way before the hiatus.
So you've been holding something as well.
I've been holding on,
haven't
to this
you?
Tits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I am excited.
So the thing that's been getting on my shitting tits is having to put air in your tires.
You really hate any sort of car shit. I mean, you hate putting petrol in your car, don't you?
But the air thing, surely you understand that.
Do you know what? I don't think I've ever put air in my tyres.
Right. Well, it's a fucking ball ache. Because
what do you have to do then?
Right, so you've got...
Do you have to put coins and shit in?
Yeah, well, they've now got card machines. But picture the scene, okay? This is before... This was, I think, just after we'd finished for summer.
Yes.
I'm in the car with Lady Cass, and I can't remember if we'd been somewhere or we were going somewhere. And then we get up to the... Well, like, the thing dings on my dash to say
dings on your dash.
Dings on your dash. Tyre pressure lost.
Okay. Yes, so yes. I get that as well. Okay. Not a ding, but I get a notification.
Yeah. So I was like, right, I really don't want to have to, like, this is a relatively new car to me. There were times where I knew that I could sort of get away with it in my Volkswagen, but because this is so new to me, I didn't want to risk it.
No.
And we were in Marlow, so we were about to drive on the A404 or whatever it is. And I was like, I don't really want to risk it. So I pulled into a petrol station. There's a woman in front who's got no fucking clue about how to put air in her tyres. So Cassie and I end up having to help her first, right? She's in this massive Chelsea tractor, like 4x4. Okay.
Was she in her sort of
activewear? Yeah, of course she was. Right, she had half a child in the back, like I'm talking like the most minute child you've ever seen. And she was like, "Oh my god, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, okay." And so I don't know if you know, but the wire to get round the cars is quite. You have to really pull it.
Is it like a curly wire?
Yeah, but it's like, and you have to sort of get to do the front tyres is a fucking ball ache, right?
Do you know, when you tell these stories, I so wish I was just a fly.
Oh
on
my
your
god,
head
I was like sweating.
I bet you
like
were getting right cob on. Yeah.
Oh my god. So you have to take all the tiny little screws off your tyres, which are just ridiculous.
Yes,
tiny.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You have to pull the thing like it's like when you put in petrol and you need to go.
You have to pull it out of the actual hold of it.
Yeah, like if you've gone to the wrong side of the pump.
Yes,
I know
what you
stretch
mean.
It.
Yes.
Okay, so that's hard enough, isn't it? Now try and stretch something like that round to the front of your tyres whilst bending down, whilst trying to get the smallest valve on these stupid things on your tyres, and it's like. Oh my god! And all you can hear when you unscrew it is psst. So you're like, I've got to be quick, I've got to be quick, I've got to be quick. You're kneeling down, it's boiling hot, and you're like, hold it, and you're like, why isn't it? And I was saying to Cassie, why isn't it going up? Why isn't it going up? Because what you do is you set the number on the screen of how much pressure you want, so whether that's 35, 37, 40, like you look in your manual and you see what your tyre pressure should be.
This is actually a very complicated process.
Yeah, this is why it gets on my tits. So I'm like, why is this not going up? And then Cassie says, because you haven't shown your card. You haven't put any money in. So I'm kneeling down in the petrol station, this wire pulled, trying to hold it on, hearing pss, and she said, and I was like, what? She was like, yeah, mate, you have to pay for it. You haven't. So we've already helped this woman who didn't have a clue. I mean, I say we, Cassie helped her, basically.
Yeah.
I stood and watched while Cassie, it was like a Grand Prix roadside change, ran round this car.
It's like you're part of the F1.
Yeah, and she said, do you want me to do yours? I was like, no, I don't want you to do mine. I can do mine, thanks. I mean, I should have just said, off you go, Cass.
Yes.
So, and she was like, the card read, and I was like, oh my God. So I had to let this wire go. I was like, what? And she said, do you want me to hold that there?
Well,
and I was like, all right. So she held it, I went, she moved out the way, and then, so you have to do that, and you've only got a certain amount of time, so you have to do that one. She did run round and put the screw things back on. Then you're like, right, the back one. You take the screw thing off, what's it at? Right, put it on. all the time you're like bending down thinking, holy shit, I'm so unfit. Then the other two that are closer to the machine aren't so bad. But he's such a ball ache. I look at technology, right? I look at technology and I'm like, why has nobody invented tyres that don't go down?
I hope people have got their own stories about their dust caps and tyre refillings and dogs who poo out of their mouths.
Let's do a call to action.
Let's.
So remember, there's loads of ways you can get in touch with us. You can find Ange and I both on Instagram. I'm at Ruth Corden. Ange is at Ange Corden.
You can find the podcast on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search Finding the Funny Podcast.
Or you can send us an email, findingthefunnypodcast@gmail.com.
Urban Dictionary. Urban Dictionary. Urban Dictionary. Urban Dictionary.
Okay, so Angie, you've got an urban for us,
I've got an urban. I have got an urban. Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready, Pats?
Ready.
Okay, today's urban is straycation. Straycation, all one word. Straycation.
I reckon this is like when you go on a massive bender on holiday and you go astray.
Yeah, kind of. Yes, you're kind of on the right lines here. Okay, so I'll give you the blurb.
Go on, give me the blurb.
So, straycation is a vacation taken by a person with the intention to be unfaithful to their mate. Dude,
Wow.
my girlfriend just doesn't put out anymore. I can't take it. I'm going on a 3-day straycation to Montreal.
So it's when you say, I've not had enough sex at home.
Yeah.
I'm pissing off and
I'm
getting
taking myself
some
off. I'm
on
going
a
on a
straycation.
straycation.
I
I
want to
actually
go.
like
Do you
the
want
sound of it.
to go on a straycation together?
Yeah, let's do it, shall we?
Let's just find a hotel. Where should we go? Bali.
Wow, that's a bit far, isn't it?
And also, I don't think the guys in Bali would be down
No.
for me. This is where it becomes difficult. I mean, we'd have to go to the States.
You'd have to
if
go
I've
to
got
the
any
US.
chance.
Yeah,
if I've
'cause
got any chance.
They like the big girls.
Well,
don't
do they? I don't know. I don't know.
I think you've got more chance out there.
Of
Or maybe
a-
somewhere like sort of Germany.
Right. That's
You know.
random.
Well, I was just sort of thinking, some of their women are quite sort of, they like sort of big jugs of
Voluptuous.
beer and stuff, don't they? They're quite,
Oh, right. I see. Yeah.
big jugs. They like the big jugs. Although you haven't actually got big jugs. Maybe not Germany.
Big bellies. Where'd you go for big belly, love? Where would they sing the song, I like big bellies and I cannot lie?
Butts.
No, not butts, bellies.
Bellies that again.
Because I haven't got a big butt either.
No, you haven't.
So
You've actually also got a very small crack.
Thank you so much for sharing on this podcast
I'll
the
never forget.
size of my
We
crack.
were in LA for our little when you got the bloody
LA
mumps.
mumps. Yeah,
LA mumps. Lumps. And there was one time you'd gone and had a shower.
Yeah.
And then come back into the bedroom. And then I went to have a shower. When I came back in, this is a classic Patty pose as well. Literally just towel hanging from the front. So nothing around the back. Just literally.
Yeah, because it doesn't go round the back. Because it's too small.
Because you've got a big belly.
I like big bellies and I cannot lie.
So you've got the towel. Literally, you just put it on your small jugs.
Yeah.
And you put your arms down to hold
Yeah.
it, and the back is just fully open. And I walk in, so your whole back is on show to me.
Yeah.
And the first thing I notice is how short your crack is. It's halfway down your bum. Your crack.
There you go. I'm a small cracked girl.
woman.
Yeah.
Big belly, small crack. Who's after that?
Exactly. And that is, on our straycation, that is what we need to find.
Yeah.
Somebody who's just into the big belly, small cracks.
What about the sort of Italians? Do you think they like a bit of...
No. Italian women are hot.
They
Hang on,
are,
what am I
aren't they?
saying? Fat women can be hot. I'm taking that
Yeah,
back.
thank you.
I
Yes,
am taking
absolutely.
that back.
Yeah,
That is
and
diet culture.
and small cracks. A lot of people
Small
like
cracks
small
can be
cracks.
hot.
Yeah, I think it's got to be the US Pats really for our
I think probably it
straycation.
has. Yeah, straycation.
Yeah.
What about like Scandinavian countries?
No, again, they're all small blonde things,
Right.
aren't they?
Yeah. Okay. What
Although,
about?
maybe we should try it out. Maybe we could give them something they've never had before.
Let's go on multiple straycations.
Okay, brilliant.
And
Good idea.
This is a TV show. Rudy and Ange's Straycation. Let's go and find where the song "I Like Big Bellies and I Cannot Lie" would go down a treat.
Yes.
I'd like to hear if anybody's been on a straycation. Has anybody thought, "F this, I'm packing my bags. I'm going off."
Though? I do think, and I'm probably going into a bit of a serious section.
That's fine.
Here, perhaps,
We can be
without
serious, yeah.
But I sometimes think, right, this whole thing of marrying someone and staying with them for life.
Oh, BS.
Yeah. It's like when you first get together with someone, it's always exciting and it's amazing, and there's this new person and you just want to shag all the time, and it's like bloody amazing and you just can't get enough of each other. Fast forward, 20 years, that's not ever going to be the same, is it? And I wonder, just putting this out there, I wonder if there is a call for straycations. Like, it's not about.
I think you call those open relationships, Ange.
No, because I'm not talking about like all the time, but I'm talking about like once a year. You could say, right, this is my straycation. I'm off. I'm going. I'm going away for 5 days or whatever. This is my straycation time. You can also have your straycation time, and we come back and we just pick up where we left off.
I still think that would be classed as an open relationship.
No, because I think isn't open relationships when it's just basically whenever and
No, not necessarily. You're still setting. You might be setting boundaries around the open relationship, but you're still saying for this section of the year, I'm going to go away and do what I want, and our relationship is going to be classed as open. I mean, I think it's really interesting what you're saying, actually, because I think things like polyamorous relationships are becoming
What's polyamorous?
Polyamory is where you. It's like that's an open relationship. It involves having romantic or sexual relationships with multiple partners at the same time. So yeah, polyamory is like when you're in a throuple.
A throuple? Yeah, but what? That's all the time.
Yeah, and obviously that's different to what you. Yeah, no, that is. But what I'm saying is things like polyamorous relationships.
Are becoming more.
And I think there is a really big conversation that perhaps when we think about the generation behind Joel and Ellen, maybe Joel's generation to a certain extent, but what do relationships look like and how do you keep them healthy? Because gone are the days, I think, when you marry for life, and obviously things like people separating, people getting divorced, people saying I can't do this anymore. We saw that a lot in our generation. I've got lots of friends whose parents aren't together anymore, and divorce became more socially acceptable. Yeah. And I think those things like polyamory or open relationships, or people that are like, I've got a long-term partner that I live with, but actually everything's quite free around that stuff. I think that will be where we saw divorce. That will become more socially acceptable, like divorce became more socially acceptable. So and I think lots more people now around their sexuality are more fluid in terms of like, I am attracted, not necessarily just saying that everybody's bisexual, but I think there are more people that are becoming fluid about their sexuality.
Like I fancy men and women.
And so therefore it's like if one of us sat down with our husbands and said, I would really like to have sex with a woman. Yeah. And how do we manage that? Now, I think conversations like that will become much more socially acceptable probably in our lifetime. Like people saying, I don't want to be married to this person anymore, became more socially acceptable, No,
I agree. And I think there is, I kind of joke about it in the sense of like, I think if that was ever actually on the cards for me, I'd say, oh, fuck it, I don't want a straycation. I'm happy just to go away on my own for 5 days and not see a soul.
That would be you, wouldn't it? I would want a straycation. I would absolutely get my rocks off for someone else.
Would you? You absolutely saying you're up for staycations?
Yeah, I think I would be up for a staycation, you know.
What would Marty
I'm
say
only
about
talking
that?
so freely about this because Matthew doesn't listen to the pod.
What if he just says, "Oh, well, I'll listen this week,"
Oh,
especially because I can't do anything else.
Well, welcome, Marty. Welcome to the conversation with loads of us. If you want to pick this up for a one-on-one, just let me know. Pop it in my calendar. It's up to date. Yeah, I think I would be. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
well,
that
you've heard it
I
here
think that-
first, guys. Patty's up for a staycation. If anyone's up
I
for
think what you're
big
saying
bellies and short
is
crack,
big belly. I mean, I don't think I'd find somebody with a big belly, short crack fetish.
you never know, Pat.
I mean, there's a lot of chubby chasers out there.
There is a lot of chubby chasers. There's a lot of men that like, or women. You know, I mean, maybe we're talking about this fluidity, Pat. Maybe
we're talking about fluidity.
Actually, you know, I'd like to sort of test the waters with the female species.
Yeah, with the species.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I mean, look, I'm saying this sat in my bedroom on a podcast. You know, if it came to it, and I was stood in front of somebody else, I don't know.
No,
I don't know how I would feel about that.
And that's kind of what I was saying. I think sometimes the kind of fantasy part of your life, it all looks like, oh yeah, I would definitely be able to do that. I could do that. But I then sort of go, actually, the reality, I'm actually not so sure.
I do sort of think, like loads of other things, we've got to take the shame out of that for people.
Yeah.
Because I think, why can't we just be a society where we say, this is mutual? Like, people talking about, like, oh, that's weird that you're in a polyamorous relationship, or that's weird that you're in a throuple, or that's weird you're in an open relationship. That's weird based on what society has wanted us to believe family life should look like. Now, if nobody's getting hurt, and this is done in an open way, and this is something that is mutually accepted and agreed, what I want to get to a place to in society is where we're like, that's the way you want to live your life. You don't need to shove it in everybody's faces. You don't need to shout about it. But similarly, you shouldn't get shit for choosing the way that you do relationships. And you know, you think about divorce years ago, it was exactly the same conversation. It was like, it shouldn't happen. True. It's weird. It's wrong. You
just
should
stick around. You promise someone.
Yeah, that's right. And everybody was saying, I can't believe that's the way you're behaving. I would love us to get to a stage. You know, if any of my nieces and nephews came to me and was like, I'm in this sort of relationship, even if I didn't understand it, I would like to think I would say, that's so cool, and if that's working for you, I'm so happy for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we
I'd
did
actually be really deep there, didn't we?
We did. Sorry, all from an Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, you know, I'd be really interested to hear from any listeners that
I would. I'd love to get someone in who's in a polyamorous relationship. I would love that.
Or just, you know, people that you know are in relationships, but also have these times where they go, do you know what?
Yeah,
I'm having a staycation for 5 days. You know, whether that is something that people have done or have experienced, or I'd be really interested. So, yeah, there are plenty of ways you can get in touch with us.
Yes, you can find us both on Instagram. I'm at Ruth Corden, Ange is at Ange Corden.
You can find the podcast on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube.
Or you can send us an email, findingthefunnypodcast@gmail.com. What a great episode.
Bosh, first one in the bag, done.
It's so great to be back.
Oh, it's so good to be back.
We're so happy that we're back with you. And Ange and I will be back next week, helping you to find more of the funny.